All right, so tonight we are more than likely going to be finishing up Sanitarium. To give sort of a quick recap, the last level that we did was the Aztec level, or I guess the first part of the Aztec level. We got all the totems for the different temples, and we jumped down into the sort of maze below, and that's where we stopped. What we're trying to do in the maze that we're in for this almost last level of the game, believe it or not, is to find the Mask of Quetzalcoatl, which will give us some powers, basically. Before I forgot to do it, one thing that I thought I would mention that is super cool to read if you have not, if you're really into this game. If you do a Google search for Sanitarium post-mortem, there's a really, really good write-up of the process of making the game and all of the development cycle, and it's really detailed, which is kind of neat. And if you're a fan of the game, it's fun to read. And one of the things that they reveal, and one of the reasons why the game has so many different kinds of levels, is that basically they like each of the people in this company, these this group who was making this game, they all had different ideas of what the game should be about, and so they all kind of were kind of brainstorming, and then one of the team members suggested that they just incorporate all of their ideas and have sort of a central thing connecting it all, and so they get to the idea of sort of an unreliable narrator, a mentally disturbed character, as they put it here, which then would let them have all their different ideas, and so that makes a lot of sense. So at least knowing how the game sort of gets put together. So let us fire this up. The maze, and here's sort of where we left off. We had lifted up a few of these weights, I guess, and we're able to do that. Let me just sort of show you a little bit of what's back here. There is a lot more to explore, but it doesn't get you anywhere. You don't have to come down here and take a look at any of this. And in fact, let me kind of go back here and show off a little bit of this. If you explore the maze a lot more, you will see that it starts crumbling around you. Let me actually quick save it here. Look at the pattern real quick. What happens if you come this way?
These pathways are not strong.
So you could think you're right. You need to get into this place here. That's why you can't come back here. You get all the way over here. You think you're in there, and no go. So if you manage to like go through this little gauntlet right here and get past this stuff, it doesn't matter. So let's go the way we're supposed to. Too far. Having him kind of go like sideways up there makes him go a little bit faster, which is interesting. Like he was sort of bumping along there. But in any case. Oh yeah, we do need to go down this way, don't we? Almost forgot. So we come here. This we do. Let me just show you real quick. I'll quick save it. So here's what happens if you don't Don't flip that. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, it's the other way around. I want to do it. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so we pull this. That lowers the gate there. Let me save it real quick. Here's what happens if you don't pull this lever. It comes back up like it's triggered by your weight or something.
Save load game.
So what you need to do is to lock it into place.
This lever locks the gate in place.
Okay. Now finally we found
The death mask of Quetzalcoatl.
which is what we need.
Oh, my poor baby. You had an awful fall. I'm so glad you've come home.
Home?
Well, of course, silly. You did want to come home, didn't you?
Yes, I wanted to.
Well, then that's that. Hush now, Max. When you fell down the chimney, you bumped your head, and now you're a little confused, that's all.
My head hurts. I remember hitting it.
That's right, dear. You hit your head on the chimney. Now don't give it another thought. I'll take care of you.
Chimney? No, I hit it. No, I hit it on. In my car?
No, of course not, dear. You just bumped.
Yes, my car. I was driving and the brakes.
But Max, we've been waiting for you for so long. Don't leave now.
We? Who?
Why, me and little Sarah, of course. Well, who else would it be, silly?
But that's impossible. Sarah is dead.
Sarah! Max is home.
Max, you're home, you're home. I missed you.
You're alive! My God, Sarah! You're... No! You're dead!
Your tenacity is quite remarkable, you know. Your doctor tells me that you should have died in the car wreck. I wish things could have worked out differently, Max, but they didn't. You leave me little choice, old friend. Did you honestly expect me to sit by while you went public with your cure? No. I've worked much, much too hard to allow that. I guess this is goodbye, Max. I'm truly sorry it had to end like this. Farewell.
Quetzalcoatl murdering an entire village. Morgan trying to kill me. Now I see the connections. None of this is real.
All right, so to debrief for a second, we've long established that this whole game has been, or at least part of it was taking place in Max's head, and now we know that all of it has been taking place in his head. And one thing that if you're not paying close enough attention
Place.
that some people can miss is, why is Dr. Morgan trying to kill Max? Well, there's this DNA V disease. Morgan has developed a treatment for it that he's making a lot of money off of. Max has developed a cure for the disease, and if the cure goes public, then Dr. Morgan can no longer sell his treatments for it. So it's entirely evil doctor preventing a cure from getting public for money trope. So let's take a look around here at this level. Now, this is really a unique level. You kind of notice that Max transition between all of his different forms. Let me explain this part first. So you normally have inventory objects. What we have here are
A Grimwall comic book. An Aztec statue. Sarah's doll.
and what you can do is select these to change between the different characters.
Who am I now? I have to hold on to my real identity. I am Max.
A grip.
Like that. Now, if you've been watching since the beginning, let's go back to some keyboard configurations.
Keyboard configuration.
In the very beginning, there were 3 options that had question marks next to them. Up until this moment, they were question marks, and now we know what they are. The defaults were SGO, S for Sarah, G for Grimwall, O for Olmec. I can't imagine that many people even knew about this because this is the second to last level in the game. It is the only level that you can use these. These options are question marked out the entire game. So most people never find this. But it's helpful for obvious reasons, especially for speedrunning it. I'm going to switch these to 1, 2, and 3 because that's sort of what I'm kind of used to.
Return to game.
And it makes it easier to have everything like by each other. Now let's change to Grimwall. Now Grimwall walks the fastest, so if you're speedrunning it, then that is the most advantageous.
Steam escaping from a hole in the pipe.
So let's look around a little bit.
What is that? It looks like a giant eye. The stone reads Jetta Driscoll.
So if you remember, that was the one of the parents back in the cornfield level or
What
pumpkin
does this
patch level.
headless apparition want from me?
Hey, well, that's a pretty big hint. He's a headless apparition. He wants his head.
A tombstone. Chris P. See you in hell.
I wonder if that's one of the developers.
A headstone. It says Jonas Brunner. He deserved to die. A headstone. Greg C. He made his bed and now he sleeps in it. A headstone. This one says Chris S. One beer too many.
All right. So now, if we can sort of see what we need to do here. There's a skull here. There's, a headless apparition here. What do we need to do? Well, let's try going over here.
Those things will shred my feet if I try to walk on them.
So there are certain places where each of the characters can go. And in this case, there are thorns here, so he can't walk on it. But and Sarah can't walk on it.
Those things will shred my feet if I try to walk on them.
But Olmec can. Now let me see if something works here to demonstrate it.
Audio options.
Let's see. Turn the ambient volume up just a little bit.
Return to
Let's
game.
see if this works the same way here as it does in the original. I'll point it. Okay. Now you hear them chanting there. Okay, so let's go up here.
Pumpkins appear
Okay,
to
so we just need to
light up.
copy that.
Why?
My God, they must have been illusions. Everything is.
Okay. Now, though,
Game.
we go back and load this real quick. And I don't think I've made like a real save for this chapter, so let me do that right now.
Setting. Audio.
And then in the audio options, I turn the ambient volume all the way down.
Return to game.
Hey, Josh, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. How are you this evening?
My God, they must have been illusions. Everything is.
So if we do not have the ambient volume turned on at all, then their whole song sort of gets skipped there. So good. Glad to have you here. Hope you are having a good evening, Josh. Appreciate again the sub. That's very much appreciated.
A human skull.
All right, so we grab the skull. And we have the headless corpse here, so obviously we need to give that to him. He wants his head back.
A stone crypt. It came up out of the ground.
All right.
Cement lid. Looks heavy.
Now for this, I believe what we need is to get Grimwall
Can't
back
do
on.
that.
Appreciate the quality content. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate the kind words as well. So only Grimwall can do like the really strong stuff.
The head of the Angelic Statue.
Now that's a little weird because we haven't seen the Angelic Statue yet, but what we need to do in this level is that there's sort of a callback to the Angelic Statue at the very beginning of the game. And it's broken into pieces and we need to put them all together and find it basically and put it back together. So we have these thorns again, so we need Olmec. And come down here. And so what we get in this level is sort of a mixture of all the different levels that we've seen so far. So we've got the clown, harkening back to the circus.
Grimwall comic.
Will be Grimwall again.
This game appears to be a test of strength. Hit the board and ring the bell.
Got it.
All right. So now what we need to do over here, if you notice there was sort of a rainbow pattern up here. This is kind of the classic trope of the, I believe it's just a Roy G. Biv puzzle, where where you need to put in the different colors. One thing I want to do though real quick, hold on. So on my computer, I have, let's see. I have a program that, gosh, that's bright now, that will sort of dim the light and make the light less blue and more orange as the night goes on, so it's not so harsh on the eyes. But it does mean it's harder to see the colors. So let's do this.
Why are these teeth flashing colors? I'm not putting my hand in the fire.
All right, so can't put our hand in the fire, but who can? Olmec. So that's red. Let's see. Does it need to be red, orange? Sometimes it skips a few of them. Red, orange, green. Or do I need? Or is it? Or it might just be the ones over here. It's been a while since I've played this. Maybe we need to do this again. So red. Oh, that's it. It's red, yellow, green, blue.
Got it.
Red, yellow, green, blue.
I'm not putting...
Red. Okay. Yellow. Green. Blue. All right, that pops out. Okay, let me put my settings back here because that is super bright. Let's see. Oop.
The clown's nose has popped out. Now there's a small hole.
Okay, it's slowly going back to what I'm used to. Yeah, I don't know if you have any of those kind of apps on your phones or computer that sort of will dim the light and make it more orange instead of blue as it gets to nighttime, but helps with the eye strain. All right.
The clown nose broke to reveal a small hole.
So, small hole, we need a small person. And we're going to grab the Angelic Statue. Or the left part of the left wing. Again, we have not encountered the statue yet, so we don't even know we're supposed to be doing this. But... all right. Oh, yeah. And if you care about going fast, you want to switch back to Grimwall as much as possible because he moves the fastest. All right.
An empty pedestal. Something's missing here.
Okay. And, yep, something is missing there, the pieces of the angel. Let's go down here and see what we can find. So now we're back to sort of the representation of the bug level. And we've got...
I have to cut that cord in order to get the piece of statue down.
and this might be a little hard to see.
A honeycomb. Looks like something is inside.
We can punch out these different honeycomb cells, and the only thing that is actually in here is this.
An insect mandible.
And if you remember back to the bug level, we used that
An insect mandible.
that mandible to cut down the flask with the baby in it, and we can
I can't. That would
we should be able to do the same thing here.
That?
Do we need to? Oh no, I think it's something. It's oh that's right. I remember now. We need to do this.
Strange machinery. There are 4 control levers.
Right, 4 control levers, 4 arms. And that helps us to get the sound machine out. We use the sound machine down there.
The disruptor is working. The grubs have moved away from the grate.
Because we need to go into the grate.
A grate in the floor. There's a tunnel underneath.
All right, open it up. And
I can't do that.
because he's too big, so what do? Go to Sarah. Up here. We need Olmec to walk over the spikes. And here is where we actually use the mandible to cut that piece of the angel down. Walk back. And we'll get to this part over here. Don't worry about that. Don't get too anxious. We'll get there. All right, now we can pick up this piece of the angel.
This machine generates a strange
that.
noise. It seems to be some kind of disruptor.
Not that, this.
Torso of the Angelic Statue.
Return to game.
Common adventure game annoyance when your characters get in front of the thing you're trying to grab. All right. Up here. We need to walk across here and spiderweb.
Those webs will never hold my weight.
So, of course, who do we need? All right. This part gets a little disturbing.
A stone head. It seems to transmit energy to the statue. Impaled Aztec warriors. They're screaming.
And believe it or not, we need to make them scream even more.
Impaled Aztec warriors.
And I'm trying to remember...
I could move this thing, but that other statue was in the way.
So we have to do these first. So,
These plates on the floor look like they could move.
now, as far as I can tell, there's no way to really know what to do except through trial and error. So, where can I put this? Right here.
Energy coursing through the floor. Looks dangerous.
So I'm just going to cheat and look up the answer here, because as I've been playing this game for years, I cannot figure out if there is some sort of hint, or you're just supposed to, like, you're supposed to try each of these until you get the right pattern. And then first, so gradually we're building up the lightning on that statue. Okay, so now we can actually move it. And now one of the pieces is encased in like a crystal substance.
A crystal monolith. There's something inside.
Okay.
Ah, their wailing could shatter my eardrums.
So we have to make each of these scream even more, basically. Kind of the same as the puzzle where we were going through each of the different sized gongs, but just with people.
A piece of the Angelic Statue was trapped in the crystal. Right wing of the Angelic Statue.
Okay, grab it. Can't really, there's nothing, it almost looks like this is a stairway, but it's not. Now we looked at that eye earlier. We need Sarah to go back over, and now we can assemble the Angelic Statue. I believe if we have all the pieces.
Torso of
Torso.
Better, but it's still not complete.
Somewhat annoyingly, he's going to comment on
Better.
each of these.
Still not complete. Better, but it's still not complete. The statue is reassembled, and a portal has opened. The real world must be close. I can feel it. I'd better move quickly.
All right, and into the last level we go.
You've come far, Max, but I'm afraid it ends here, old friend. As for these, you won't need them any longer. You failed the children of the world, as you failed your sister when she needed you most. You don't have the courage to save them, nor the strength to do what's necessary. You failed everyone. As I've told you countless times before, Max, you've always been your own worst enemy.
Have to get through those columns. The real world lies beyond. This thing won't let me pass. What am I supposed to do?
Seek the truth.
All right, let's take a moment to
Save.
save and then also to appreciate this level, because you can go through this pretty quickly and not really catch everything.
Turn to game.
So, who do we have here?
Morgan. Only he stands in my way.
So it's not really Morgan, it's like our mind's manifestation of Morgan. What are these back here? Can we see anything? Nope. What are these? So these are like...
A glass statue of Sarah, holding an orb of some kind. A glass statue of Olmec. He's holding an orb. Glass statue of Grimwall. He's got something in his hands.
Okay. So one of the things that I guess maybe it's hard to miss. We have this big IV coming down into Max's arm here, and if you remember a few cutscenes ago, Dr. Morgan put some poison into our IV. So if we take too long on this puzzle, what I'll probably demonstrate it. If this comes down into our veins, the puzzle resets. We die and we have to start over. So if we try to head over here. our doppelganger stops us. So what we have to do is sort of look at this pattern in the ground here, and then kind of, you know, use it to follow it and then get to these different orbs.
You are truly a great warrior.
Okay. Let me see if we go down this way. So if we are on one of the kind of like puddles when it transitions, then we get sent back to the beginning. Let's see if I have time to do this. Okay. Oh, and I think we'll make it to the end here.
The strength. No more games, Morgan.
So you actually have quite a bit of time to solve this puzzle. Basically, if this gets all the way down to your arm, you die. So I don't think I'm going to demonstrate that, because you just, I mean, you can imagine you just die. And the whole thing resets. But here's it, and this is where that's the last action of the game. So we're going to enjoy the final cutscene.
You're my hero. I love you.
The shadow is gone. You failed, Morgan. I'm gonna live!
Enough games, Max. This ends here, now. Do you know that the poison will soon condemn you to darkness forever? Lost to your doomed world. Lost to your wife. Lost to your unborn child.
So Morgan thinks that we're dead.
I'm back. It's over.
Head of the Mercy Drug Corporation, Dr. Jacob Morgan, has resigned. This surprising development comes just a few short months after the corporation made its cure for the DNAV virus available to the public. Dr. Morgan's successor, Max Lawton, the man who discovered the DNAV cure, had no comment.
The trial of Dr. Jacob Morgan, former head of the Mercy Drug Corporation, begins this morning. Federal authorities claim Dr. Morgan hindered the drug's development in an attempt to increase company profits. He may even have gone so far as to sabotage a researcher's car, an act which nearly prevented a true cure from ever being found. Prosecutors are confident that Morgan will be found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
This is a test of the subject's threshold.
So everything's okay, and then we get this. I won't comment, just enjoy.
Rides, of course.
Must I pass through the bowels of the monster?
This is a confusing mess.
What?
I wish I knew, man.
Why?
That stuff is for the birds.
What?
Who are you?
Why?
Are your memory pathways in need of service?
Why?
The dawn of the insectoids.
Toad puke and pig boogers on this game.
That's a rude thing to say.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, what? Just putting up the volume on my machine stopped that? Anyway. If you, you can find that online. That is a little annoying that it cuts whenever you do anything. But it's like, they make a little song out of all the, all the different dialogue in the game, and it's pretty jokey and kind of funny. Anyway, so yes, we are free from our mind. We managed to take out the IV before the poison got to us. The cure got disseminated. Dr. Morgan was kicked out, resigned from the Mercy Corporation, and is going to be prosecuted. The end. Everything is wonderful. I want to do this here. I believe that if we save it here, and then
Return to game.
return to game, and then we load it. What will it do? Yeah, because we saved it after the game was over, you can load to like a null screen. And you can hear Max walking around, but you can't do anything. So just something fun you can do at the end of the game.
Morgan. Only he stands in my way.
Always been your own worst enemy.
So I wonder if you so it's like it's the last level, but you can't see what you're doing.
Soon the poison will reach your veins, Max.
So, all right. So I think, I mean, we did that, completed that in enough time. I think we have time to try a speedrun of this version, which we have never done before. So let me do this. I'm going to put up like a be right back screen. I'm going to stretch for a minute, kind of compose myself, and then we will try one run of this version, which this is the Steam version, and I have never run this before.